let's get to today's special guest. So, Manda Ziegelman, amazing hairdresser. They've been in the industry for 15 years, incredible, diverse experience through Seattle and Portland. Manda has a really just a cultivated, edgy, and unconventional hairdressing style that, hey, last time you guys saw her here on the channel, you really loved what they did. So we're going to make sure we have more available for you. Manda has taught across the country, mentoring junior stylists and hairdressers alike. Here's the thing that we just love about Manda. They have really cultivated their own space. And we were just talking about this before we jumped on that. There is a time in your career where you must make your future. Manda was one of those people that kept showing up at the Sam Villa booth, just showing up, and they would say, hey, what can I do for you? Can I unpack boxes? Can I help you tear down? And that's how we get opportunity. And that's the reason that Manda has such an incredible career, because they've been able to cultivate themselves. They've created this experience for themselves. So with an open mind, a big heart, a well-traveled spirit, and an all-inclusive heart, please welcome in the chats, Manda Ziegelman.
Oh, hello, Andrew. Thank you for that amazing opening. I just love you. You're great.
We love you too, buddy.
Well, hello, wonderful humans of planet Earth and beyond. Welcome. It's a great honor to share space and passion with you all this morning. So thank you for tuning in. Before we get started, just going to cleanse the space with some essential oils, some awakening mist. I got some calm because I'm nervous as all heck. And last but not least, some good vibes. These were made by my friend Kyle, KCP Apothecary.
I love it.
Everyone, let's just deep breathe. All right. So, I just want to cast a circle around all of us and say that everyone is welcome here. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're at in your career. I am personally inviting you into this safe space. It's a space of inclusivity, diversity, creativity, authenticity, and education. Of course, education, imagination, and simply a space where together, all of us will elevate this industry, making this world a better place for all. That's right. Better place for all.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I just want to invite all women, all queers, all people of color, femmes, trans, and non-binary folks to the front. I want to see more visibility to every one of these communities who haven't had a voice. As a gender non-conforming person, I want to see more visibility in our industry to these voices who have long been silenced or overshadowed. So this space is for you. This space is for everyone to feel a part of it and included. So important. So if you are all for diversity, inclusion, artists supporting artists in this great, big, wild hairdressing world, please, in the chat, give me a hell yeah. A hell yeah in the chat.
Yes.
And let's just make this world a safer space, and especially this industry, for everyone, for all of us.
This is why we love you so much. Thank you, Manda. I'm going to get off the screen and let you do your thing. Thank you for that incredible intro, cleansing the space. I feel like I'm in your circle. Have some fun.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew. So those of you that were on our rock and roll class last October, well, if you were, please type in the chat something maybe you learned, something that helped you, something that was a little bit inspiring, something that stuck out to you from the last class back in October, rock and roll haircut, all about the shag. And Andrew, since I can't see the chat bar, if you could come on and maybe share a few things that people are saying in the chat, something that they've learned, perhaps.
We're just getting swamped with the hell yes still.
Yeah!
But Ray says, it totally changed the way I approach my shags. So you definitely helped Ray. Carla says, chunky texture. Katie says, fringe is your greatest accessory. Yeah. So you got some homies.
Cool. So yeah, we shared a freehand artistic cutting technique, shared a little rock and roll history, some inspiration, which besides hair, rock and roll music is literally like my favorite thing to talk about. So we shared a little of that. And I also severely encourage y'all to just cut the damn thing. So if y'all weren't there, it's online, available for you. This is our follow-up class. But before we get started with our rock and roll refresh class today, I have some special guests in my 500 square foot apartment here. Let's bring them out. Here are all of our lovely models from last class. So you can see mullet vibes, shaggy texture, model walk, say what's up, hey. This was our shag that was cut live last time. She's been hanging out in my closet for a while. Hasn't been styled in 4 months, still looks good. Here's a more skatery, short, fringy style with all that texture. And here's our more punky mullet with some nice block coloring in the back that is so popular and so trendy right now that, you know, punk rockers started. So what's up to my peeps out there? Lovely models, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And yeah, today is our follow-up. It's all about rock and roll refresh. So specialty haircut, what we taught last time, it's all about, you know, a long, inclusive experience of a haircut. It's a longer service. It costs more money. It's more energy. And it's literally cut from the inside out and built to last. So these types of clients are only coming in for a full haircut every 4 to 6 months. Now, what do we do when the fringe grows out or, you know, they just want some framey bits? Well, I will tell you the key to that is offering an in-between service. So to my clients, I like to offer a specialty cut after their specialty cut, I like to offer a maintenance trim. So let's welcome Frankie to our zone. First client of the day. Special maintenance trims are opportunities for us to check in with our guests, reconsult, and give them a whole new look, making them feel fresh and vibrant and bright without doing the whole thing. So communication is key. We've already set Frankie up for coming in with clean, dry hair. They know the deal. They've been my client forever. So let's go ahead and get started, huh? So, hey, Frankie. Oh my gosh. I see that you have cut your own fringe here. Looks cute. Good job. Welcome. Today we're going to be doing a maintenance trim. So what that is, y'all, it's everything in front of the face, starting just in front of the ear. So just clip everything that we're not going to be cutting out of the way using my no bend clips. If you notice, Frankie has come in as is. I want to see my guest's true texture and kind of reevaluate and see where they're at with their look.
Hey, Manda.
Yeah.
Just question to that refresh trim. Is that included in the initial pricing or is that an additional cost?
Great question. So specialty haircut, more time, more money. Our maintenance trim, this for me is a 30-minute appointment and it's half the cost of my specialty cut. So whatever makes sense to you, I feel like this is a 30-minute appointment. I'm definitely charging for my time and my valuable information and offerings to them. So yes, charge for your service. So Frankie's come in, cut their own bangs. They love a short, chewy crescent fringe. So that's what we're gonna go here to establish our guide throughout the whole haircut. So I just gotta share with you guys, I'm so excited. Look, I got this new shear case. All my Sam Via babies are in here. Oh, so nice to have a neat organized container for my shears. I'm gonna be using these ones. And we're gonna establish our shortest point of the haircut. So simply, how do we do that? Woo, pardon me, love. How we do that middle of the face, we're using our nose as the reference point for all 3 of our clients today. So let's take it a little short. First snip is going to be right in the middle, and I'm just going to cut it. Since Frankie here, they've already been cutting their bangs, it doesn't need a whole lot. I'm just going to freehand shape it out. You can see that my comb, I'm pressing with the fine teeth of it to the head to literally just etch some fringe away. And that's that. We have our fringe carved back in where we want it. So first what we do, super simple, to connect the dots on our shag haircuts, our grow outs, we're gonna take our first section, which is gonna be a vertical section, and we're going to scoop it all the way over to the nose, using the nose, this entire haircut, our maintenance trim, as the guide. So we're gonna come in, and where do we make our first cut? Wherever the shortest piece of that fringe is. So connecting the dots, shortest piece of the fringe, I'm going to snip outward to create texture. Again, we hold it out, references the nose, over directing and snipping away. All right, now we're going to the other side and doing the same thing.
Hey, this is a great question, actually. It's such a simple one, but a great one. Any solutions for cutting a shorter fringe and not getting bits in the client's face?
Oh, gosh, especially now with masks, right? They're like, oh my God, it's so itchy. Yeah, so a little trick is to be a little extra with it. Get your, kind of like hold the hair with lots of tension and literally like flick that hair away. Be careful not to chop yourself. Otherwise, you know, sometimes I'll ask the guest to hold a piece of paper, or I know there's fancy like plastic sheets. I've seen other hairdressers use those. If you know where to use those, let me know.
Chris Benson sells those, I think, still.
Who does?
Chris Benson. So you can, I think it's Chris Benson Designs is his tool company. I think he still has those little plastic sheets.
Well, let's all get some of those because, oh my gosh, itchy hair is no fun. Thanks for that question, though. So I've gone to the other side, pulling all of that hair, just like we did on the other side, to the middle of the nose, straight across, holding the hair straight out, using my finger straight up and down. And then I'm just going to, ooh, almost cut myself. It's awkward doing it on camera, y'all. I'm in backwards land here. But notice how I'm just out carving and throwing that hair away. Now it might look a little dangerous and choppy, but this is how we want to, this is how we want the hair to be, really chewy. And so when you outcut like that, it just creates that natural dimension in the hair so easily. So we're almost done with our face cut. You know, this is such a quick service for the cutting part. Let's take our shortest bit, our guide. I'm gonna outcut, 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 slide, creating lots of texture, and comb it into place as we go, checking and seeing how it looks. Ooh, we're opening the face. Already looking so cute. So last section. Hey, Andrew.
Hi, sorry. Sean's asking, would you normally be standing directly in front of the client when cutting this?
Thank you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. With double masks, I'm standing right in front of my desk, asking them to just, let's have a little quiet time for a bit so I can really concentrate, AKA please don't spread your germs on me. So it is a lot easier when you can stand in front of your guest and literally swing the chair from side to side as we cut to get that exact alignment, which is our middle of the face, and using our nose as a reference point. So yes, we are definitely standing in front of our guests. Thank you for bringing the attention to that. It's a lot easier when you can just look them and be directly in front of them. So over directing to the middle of the nose. I'm gonna come over here, walk it on over, swing all this hair to the middle of the nose, and cut out. Combing it into place, we can see what's going on. You can see these flicky bits coming through. Oh yeah, looking so cute. This is what we want. Final section, swinging that hair over and out, cutting. Okay, that's it for the hair cutting part. Now, if you notice in our maintenance trim appointment, we still have a little bit of time left in this appointment. So this is a great opportunity to reconsult, set up our next appointment with our guests, and showing them some styling tricks. So I'm going to use my styling refresher to see and read their natural texture. Oh yeah, looks good. And I'm going to ask them, like, hey, what's your vibe? How do you style your hair? Do you use a round brush? You don't? Would you like to see? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to grab my blow dryer and a small round brush, and I want to really flick up some dimension over here. So just scooping all that hair in the round brush. A little heat, some tension, and then flipping that hair up and away to give it a little bend. Same thing over here, scooping that round brush down, diagonal back, and giving it a little flick to open up the face.
If you wanted to cut this fringe a little longer, how would you adapt to something a bit longer?
Ooh, stay tuned. We're going to be doing that later.
There you go.
We have 3 clients today, remember? Okay, so now what if your guest doesn't really know how to use a round brush, but they do have a blow dryer? A really great trick you can show them, hand them the blow dryer with a nozzle, grab pieces that you want to really enhance and flip out, shoot it straight down, give it a little bend as it's cooling, and you can see that wave, that texture coming out. I like to read the hair and just let it do its thing. Let hair live where it wants to be. So a little bend, and there we have it. So easy, y'all. Okay, now there's still a little bit of time left in this appointment. Hey, Andrew.
Did you add any product before working on this haircut?
Yeah.
And actually, before you answer that, can I add kind of a first, and you might have already mentioned this, but since this is a refresh haircut, would you pretty much just be sitting them down, working with the hair how they came in pre-styled?
Absolutely. Okay. So our communication before is we set them up for success, tell them to come in with clean, dry hair, and come as is, come as you are. So how their hair naturally is worn. So for Frankie, it is minimal styling, and we're refreshing everything, but also showing ways to re-inspire them and enhance their look with a couple simple techniques. So what we did was a little round brush flick. We used the nozzle of our blow dryer to enhance the bend simply by giving it a little tap. Now, let's say we want to polish it all out and add some more surface dimension. I love my sleeker for this. I have it on my color treated setting because I don't want to ruin this beautiful pinkish yellow color work. I'm going to literally skim the surface, look at this whole silhouette, and pluck the strands that I want to define. So here I'm taking a little tiny strand. I'm going to give it a little push, and it's going to be a push, 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 a tap, 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 all throughout the surface to create more tenderly wavy, lived-in kind of feel. So check it out. So easy to do this. such a great enhancement for styling to really take your looks to the next level. This is also great for any guest that has a lot of frizz on the surface. It's a great way to polish and contain that so easily. So grabbing bits of hair, giving it a little rub before we compress, because we don't want to see that annoying crimp in the hair. You know that stamp, we don't want it. So a way to prevent that, heat underneath before you compress. Very gentle, very light, tap, 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 push, push, push into a low-key S wave. Give it a stretch, expand it, and you can see how just those two little pieces really enhance the look of this cut.
That was something that you did last time that I just was like, yeah, this is so cool, because it's the simplicity of just adding a few pieces to the shape instead of feeling like you had to pick up the iron, go through the entire head. All you're doing is a couple little pieces and it totally wakes up the shape. It's awesome.
Yeah, you got it, Andrew. It's like less is more, work smarter, not harder. That's our whole thing. And also, like, it doesn't have to be hard, especially with shags. As we know, as we're learning, like, these cuts are really built from the inside out. So all that texture underneath like collapses the shape. So you don't have to do a whole lot. A little bit of product, give it a little crinkle, and then just tidy up the surface bits. So first guess, we connected our fringe to our face layers, and then we're good to go. Also in this appointment, hey.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just also in this appointment, we sold some retail. We booked their next color appointment. We booked out their next specialty appointment. They are taking selfies before they even get out the door. They're tagging me on Instagram, and they just Venmoed me a $5,000 tip. So they're happy.
Hey, I just realized that I took Liz's question and totally derailed it. Did you put, so Frankie walks in, they sit down in your chair. Would you potentially apply product into the hair at that point before doing the service?
Good question. So we instructed our guests to come in as is, come, you know, how they wear their hair. And so they're low key. That's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. We're going to cut the hair first, read where it wants to live. And then afterward, depending on what the hair needs, we can recommend product and add product and show them how to use it, put it in their hand, teach them, share with them all the ways to make their hair look how we did it in the salon just now.
Yeah. And I love what you just mentioned too, because that was one of the things we used to do at the salon, especially for like super short haircuts where it was like, you know, faded or something like that. We would give them these just 5-minute touch-up haircuts, and we would schedule an appointment for them. And we didn't charge anything because it was just like 2-3 minutes to just, you know, clean up the edge, maybe like tidy up a one little spot. But it brings that person back into the salon more often. So they're not as tempted to go to Amazon and buy it because of convenience, because they're already going to come to your salon and check in. Plus, it just builds that relationship with the client so much deeper. And even with what you're suggesting, which is to have a 30-minute appointment that you do actually charge, think about the value that you give to a client then. Because you're telling them, hey, you know what? Instead of coming in every 6 weeks for a full haircut, I don't know, how often are you typically having them come in for that touch-up?
So specialty haircuts, it's literally built to last 4 to 6 months. That's why I'm able to charge so much for a haircut, because not only is it a great haircut lived in, it's an experience, and their hair it's built to last. So maybe once, maybe twice for an in-between maintenance cut, which is literally the fringe and the face bits. That's it. And then offering retail product and just reconnecting with our guests. So
that's awesome. I love how you're switching up the concept of how we treat the client experience. Because this is the thing that if COVID's taught us anything, it's taught us that we have to rethink the way that we look at our client experience, how we look at our booking experience, all that kind of stuff. So I love how you're suggesting a completely different way to approach how we set up their appointments, how often they're in the salon. You're a rock star.
Absolutely. You know, I feel that so hard. I've worked in salons before where it was literally like, felt like a factory farm where it was, 30 minutes, do a full floral haircut, rush, 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 double book, money, money, money. Like to me, like that's not my flavor. I want to put the artistry back into hairdressing. I want to enhance how my guest feels about themselves. I want to make connection, build community. I want to help folks be seen how they want to be seen. And unfortunately, I can't do that in 30 minutes. So it's okay to slow down a little bit and just get back to the art of it. Okay, so this is our friend. This is my best friend. Her name's Lou. They have long, straight metal babe hair. They're actually in a black metal band, and they've been growing out their fringe for a long time. They were growing it out because they wanted to be Morticia Adams for Halloween, so they needed that long look, but Halloween's over, and they're finally ready to get back to their V cut. So V bangs, it's an edgier style. It's a rocker look. A lot of my goth friends have had it. I've seen a lot of super dramatic ones, real random taily bit ones, super chewy ones. And honestly, it seems like it'd be a real simple chop, but it's really difficult to get this cut easy. So trying to formulate a simple way that we can all do this. I know we have a lot of cosmetology students out there who are going to be watching this. So first of all, welcome to the best industry in the world. And here's a simple way that you can try this out later. So we're going to establish our guide. Again, same thing, middle of the nose, center of the face. I want this V to be, the point of the V to be right in the center, covering up that third eye. So simply going to pinch where that naturally falls and give it a little snip. And goodbye, beautiful color. Okay, so we will be standing in front of our section. I'm going to break it up in two parts to try and maintain some sort of symmetry and balance. Let's stand in front of our guest with a lot of tension, comb that hair down into place, and drag your fingers horizontal to that shortest point in the middle that we just cut. Now, before we cut, we want to visualize our end result. So before I even cut, I'm going to tilt my shears and kind of see where I think that this is going to look best. So I'm determining from the midpoint of the eyebrow, and I'm just going to connect the slope to the middle. So with lots of tension, just cutting down. And goodbye, color. Cool. So we can go back and detail it because chances are it's not going to be a perfect swoop right away. So let's swing on over to the other side. Same exact thing. Take all that hair with lots of tension, hold it down. It's really hard to do one of these backwards maneuvers. So I'm going to get creative to try and make sense of the symmetry here. I'm gonna use that shortest bit in the middle as my guide, drag it down, and literally, again, moving my shear, visualizing that end result before I make the chop. And I'm gonna cut this going upwards, extending over the eye. Okay, I'm just gonna take a look, gonna stand in front of her. Get my guide in there before I do anything else. This would be a great time for those plastic shieldy things. And there's our V-bang. Cool. All right, so Lou's hair is super straight. I don't want to clip the hair up and create any problems. So if you notice, I am just combing the hair straight into place. As I clip back, I'm using one of these no bend clips so we don't get any annoying creases in the hair and so it won't disrupt our work. Okay, so the hard part is done. Underneath, we established that guide. Now we know where to go. Everything will be easy breezy. So what we just did is the same thing we're going to do just now. Find where that guide is and connect the dots. Ooh, so many colors. It's like green, violet, and yellow Mardi Gras colors. Okay, same thing over here. Stand in front of your section so you can see what you're doing.
And as you're cutting, can you also speak to maybe other challenges that people face with these kinds of fringes, like cowlicks, widow's peaks, things like that?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you a really easy way to just neutralize any colics you might have. Luckily, you know, Lou came in with her hair already styled into natural fall where we want it. So this is the last piece and we're just gonna freehand cutting that V into the hair. And then I'll show you a really great way to make sure no colics are acting funny on you. Cool. So as far as how this looks, I'm not happy with it. Of course not. I'm not just gonna cut it and be done with it. I'm gonna use and put my signature on it using some texturizing shears. I'm going to simply take this entire upper part, because I don't want it to be so heavy, elevate it 90 degrees, and snip away to add some texture. This also exposes this beautiful color work that we've done. So softening it up so it's not such a hard edge, making it more livable, more movable is the flavor, even with a harsher style like this. Rad.
What kind of face shapes do you feel like this style of fringe would work with?
Yeah, so face shapes, right? I feel like
I'm with you.
wear whatever you want, do whatever you want, whatever you're feeling. I love this for folks that have really dramatic eyebrows. Maybe they have like some wing points on the edges. It looks super cool. So let's arrange this. And perfect opportunity to come back and show some styling tips. Lou, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and maybe your fringe is gonna be sticking straight up and your cowlick's just gonna jump out at you. So what do we do to treat that? Let's put a little bit of setting spray. We're gonna be using my favorite Artist Series paddle brush. I love this because you get all the cushion of a regular paddle brush, but you get the fine bristles for maximum tension and maximum smoothness. It's such a good brush.
It's my favorite.
So to neutralize any part, not just a V-bang, any fringe that you want to wear hanging down, it's so simple. We're literally just gonna crisscross back and forth, X pattern. And there you have it. What I love about doing a X marks the spot sort of wrap dry in the front is it disrupts where that hair wants to naturally jump out, any colics, but it neutralizes the hair so you can just have a natural flowing fall to it. So easy. So I'll just let my guest hold the brush, crisscross, X marks the spot, up and down, and you have a super neutral fringe zone. All right, y'all. So Lou complains all the time of having super thick hair that's flat. They want volume. No products work for them. Nothing is helping. So to bump up the volume and give them another option, let's just carve out a little circle on the top of the head. I'm gonna put a clip on it. And we're gonna be using our texture iron, which essentially is like a micro crimp. What I love about it is the easiest way and quickest way to build volume in the hair. So literally just giving it a split second. Let's turn this baby on. Andrew, I'm going to plug this in real quick.
Well, that usually helps. Electricity is very beneficial to hot tools. I thought maybe you had the thing that I always do, because I'll get into the studio and I'll get my tools all set up, and our irons have an automatic shut off so it doesn't burn your iron out over time. And I'll set up my tools and everything. Then when I go to reach for them, the automatic shut off has happened. I'm like, oh, oops. But yeah, plugging them in always helps.
Gosh, that safety feature on these irons, it shuts off after a certain amount of time so you don't burn your house down.
Yeah, that's always good too.
All right, so I'm going in the crown of the hair, adding some volume with my texture iron. Anybody that complains of flat, fine, lifeless hair, we need to get them set up with this tool. Set them up with a link to this iron. It will change their lives. It's a quick tap. You don't have to do everything. I like to go about every other section, so it's literally invisible. You can't tell that it was being crimped. Give it a little crimp. And one final pass of it. Bam, bam, bam. And when we turn her around, you can see how this just plumps up that volume that we wouldn't have been able to get if we didn't put that little bit of texture in it. And this is how we go from flat, straight, long metal hair to just like, I'm a rocker of the night style. Feeling good. All right, everyone, thank Lou for being here. You're rad. I'll see you in Seattle in 2 weeks. My friend Lou is awesome. Okay. I'm basing my mannequin stories on real clients and real people, by the way. I'm not to that part of quarantine where I'm like talking to them seriously, so disclaimer.
Hey, Manda, do you remember which exact shear you used when you were cutting the fringe? Was it the streamline?
So I have such a collection going, I'm losing track. It was this one.
Yeah, so that looks like it's either the 6 1/4 or 6 3/4 inch streamline series.
The streamline, this is so good. I love this shear. I've been using it like nonstop for everything. It's so versatile and so sharp, and you get all those like textury bits. It's so good. And then the Invisablend.
Yes, that's the reversible blender that you have there. The signature reversible blender.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, Andrew's an expert. Okay, so our last client, this is Marla. I'm giving her a fake name because she is the tour manager of Pearl Jam, and just like out of privacy or whatever. So super rad, always on the go, wants like an edgy curtain bang because her hair is so thick, and she wears it up a lot. So we just want to bring some life and dimension to this clump of hair. It's like she's hiding, she wants curtain bangs, but she's hiding behind two sheets of hair. So the easiest way to open our guests up is to add some face framing. So for our maintenance trim today, she literally came sectioned off for me. She wears her hair up in a bun. She just wants this cut anyway. So we're gonna cut the darn thing. So what's our same starting point of every haircut today? Middle of the face, tip of the nose for a reference point, shorter, starting on the forehead, but this we want to be long. So our first piece to establish our guide, gonna grab a little piece right in the middle, in line with the nose. I'm going to make sure that where I am gonna cut, we can still tuck it behind the ears, make sure that's a good length. Yep, still gotta be able to tuck it. Okay, So that's going to be beneath the chin, and it's going to be a soft swoop opening up the face. Now, I don't want to just cut this because that's going to be a really, really hard line. So I'm going to elevate this piece, keeping my finger in place before we cut, and slide cut out to establish our first guide. The reason I'm holding it up and cutting out is because I want a soft piece on the front. I don't want to create any hard lines to have to like overblend later. So let's grab a big old section, what you would consider like the fringe. Taking all of this, it's like a triangle section. I'm going to find that our guide, and I'm just going to carve outward. So same thing that we've been doing this whole program all last time. We're going to come in front of our guest, fingers up, find that guide. Where are we at? And then outcut. See what we're doing here? Like slide and shoe, using this part of my shear to create this motion. Okay, let's just go on over to the other side and do the same thing. Finding my shortest bit, taking this side of the fringe, big old section, straight up, looking at the middle, pulling all that hair to the middle. And outcut. Okay, see where we're at. Ooh, already. No longer hiding. Ooh, so beautiful. Okay, 2 more sections. There's still more hair in front of the ear. So what do you think we're gonna do? We're gonna grab that entire big piece, see where our guide is. And there's not gonna be much to cut off here, but outcut. Comb it into place, see where we're at.
So do you typically prefer to use shear for this kind of work over razor?
Yeah, on dry hair, I do.
Okay.
Usually our original shag cuts, like it's more skill to use a razor or it's a different type of skill. It's a unique skill to use a razor. So in the original specialty cut, I will do the whole haircut with a razor. And then their maintenance trims here with a shear, but whatever you want to do. All right, y'all, look how that just opened up her face. And it's no longer 2 clumps of hair. There's some cool, piecey, edgy dimension to it. Now, the hair is still feeling really dense, really heavy. What can we do? I want to take that entire fringe section, elevate it straight up 90 degrees to the middle, take my texturizing shear, and just soften those ends, and you get even more life to it. So fringe section on this side, same. Ooh, that's okay, I have a whole pack. Check out my new comb case. I'll use this one, I like black. Okay, elevating that straight up. Y'all, usually I have a mirror, so bear with me here. And then just softening that hair. And you can really see it start to come alive and open up. The less weight in the hair, the more the hair is going to expand and open up. So that feels good to me. She doesn't want to be too edgy. You know what I mean? We all have those clients. It's like a shag light version. So we have another, 15 minutes with our guest. Hair's up in a bun. I want to show her a different way. This is like an edgy rocker, babe. I'm going to show her a different way to make this top knot look a little cooler. So hair's already in a ponytail for us, which is cool. Thank you for doing that. We're gonna go back to our texture iron, and let's go ahead and take some ribbons of hair and expand this bun. Turn it on. Luckily, these only take like 10 seconds to heat up. I love this tool. Texture, 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 texture. Just giving this hair some stamps because we're gonna really expand this bun and make it look super cool. Showing her another styling tip that she can do at home to feel badass. So texture, 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 texture. And we don't have to do the whole thing. A little goes a long way. So check out how much frothiness and how much expansion we can get simply by just using a tiny little bit of that texture iron. It just plumped right up, didn't it? And if you look closely, you can't tell that there's any crimps going on in this hair. But if you wanted to look super 80s, you could like really indent it, crinkle it down with some hairspray. All right, so we have our texture built in there. I'm going to just froth out this bun, expand it a little bit, and then just sculpt it back out. This made it appear more messy, a little bit more edgy. Let's put a bobby pin in there, put it into place. I like a top knot when you can like see a whole bunch of hair. I think it's cool. So expanding that texture. We just made a little mini bun look like a big old thing, which I love. And then like, let's amp it up a little bit. Hey.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say that again, once again, feel like a broken record, but all these quick little things, these are so valuable because people are like, well, how do I add value to my client service? You have shown us like 10 different ways already within seconds to give them a different experience. So keep rocking.
Transformation, my friends. It doesn't have to be some dramatic, like big chop, simple little things. So I've got some antique black lace and, goth vibes. And we're just gonna, whatever you have laying around, it could be like a string, it could be like a bandana, whatever you want. Let's go ahead and just put something on the hair, a little bow, and look how cute she is. A curtain bang, big old bun, and some antique goth lace. I love it. That's my vibe. Okay, so for all you punk rockers out there, usually like I have 1,000 pins on my vest or my jacket. But I was thinking about it. How cool would it be to have your vibe on your updo? So, maybe your thing is science fiction. You love aliens and X-Files. You could add your little pin on it, rock that vibe. Or if you're like me, one of my favorite bands is Motorhead. You can pop that on there. I do have rock and roll tattooed on my ring finger because rock and roll satisfies my soul. If that's all there is, it ain't so bad. Rock and roll. If you're a hairdresser and you love to support other hairdressers, here I have my pin from Lumos Knox Salon in Napersville, Chicago suburb. My friend Twyla Jane works there as a true badass. You can make that accessory look cute. But today I'm on this I'm vegan, so I'm gonna go with forever against animal testing for this vibe, and we're just gonna place that button in the hair, and it just made it look a little bit more interesting. Okay, now we have time in this appointment to set up her next color, set up her next haircut, go home with the retail. I want to use my Himalayan pink salt in the fringe to awaken it up and add some more pieceyness. And then I want to give her one more opportunity to learn a way that she can style her hair at home. So what we're going to do is bust out our good old-fashioned Sambia Artist Series blow dryer. It is my favorite blow dryer of all time. It just works so good. And we're gonna really bring these bangs to life and tell our guests, like, hey, you know, you don't have to wash your hair every day. This is good for day 2, day 3, day 4 styling. You don't need to do a whole lot. Just get your favorite round brush. I'm using a big barrel. We're gonna section off just that fringe on each side. And again, we've been doing this quite a few times. Use that round brush, drag that hair down, place the hair in it, diagonal back, little heat, 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 heat. Pardon me. Okay, the hair is super hot. That means it's still pliable. So I'm gonna use my hands to hand style and shape that hair where I want it to go. I want the flip to come out this way. So the hair is still hot from our round brush and our blow dryer. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of my no bend clips. I got these from my friend Marco Arena in Germany. They're flat, so you're not gonna get any creases in the hair. And you're just gonna clip that into place while it's still hot. And this is a setting clip. So it's gonna cool down and then it's gonna form that shape that we clipped it in. So let's do the same thing over here. Grab our round brush. I like a big one. Take all that fringe section, scoop that hair in the round brush before we even get our blow dryer in hand or turn the heat on. It's gonna be at a diagonal back because we wanna open up the face. Heat, heat, heat. Heat, heat, heat. And as we release, we notice the hair is still hot. That means it's still pliable. We're gonna work it into the shape that we want. And then grab another no bend clip. You could use one of these, or if the hair is super thick, again, Sambia no bend clips. You get no crease in the hair. Let it cool down. Let it set for a bit. This is a great opportunity to just chat, catch up, book the next appointment, get the retail in the bag, get them all checked out, rebooked, good to go. Okay, big reveal. Hair is cool, I can feel it. So release the clip. And see how you have this beautiful soft bend. It really amps up the definition of the cut in the most easy way possible. A little round brush heat and a clip and a set, and there you have it. A little spritz, a little set spray to hand style and bring out those layers. I like to use my pinching fingers to hand style and really enhance it and open it up and really show off those layers that we just did in the shape. This is my favorite part of the service too, when you're doing these little magic tricks and their eyes are just lighting up. They didn't know their hair could do these things, especially so simply. So releasing this side, it's good and cool. Going to give it a little crinkle, help encourage it, guide it along. Ah, so beautiful. How many of your guests are asking for this? Now you got it. A little spritz. And my favorite part, again, with the hand styling. Just opening up the face, opening up those eyes, and making our guests feel seen and valued and beautiful and amazing. So this is Marla. Give it up.
Yeah, Marla.
Yeah, she's literally the tour manager of Pearl Jam. I don't think I even know any Pearl Jam songs, like not interested, but she'll be like on a Zoom meeting on her laptop in the chair talking with them. I'm like, I think that's why she comes to me, because I'm not like, oh, you're so cool. I mean, she is.
Hang on a second. How do you live in the Northwest and not know a Pearl Jam
I
song?
don't know. We can talk about that later.
Man, this was mind-blowing how much you offered us in one short hour. I mean, from completely shifting the way that I think a lot of us look at client service, so many great tips on how to cut certain shapes, accessorizing. People loved the button thing. There was actually, I had to find this real quick. Patrick, I love this. I have a leather vest I wear every day, and he puts a 1, a 2, or a 3-inch button on it so he can purposely point out how big they are to clients. Because it's like, oh yeah, I want an inch off. Okay, well, do you want this button? This button?
Oh, that's awesome, Patrick.
I love it, Patrick. That's killer, man. Oh, wow. So thank you so very much, Manda. Every time you are on, well, I guess this is the second time you're on, but both times you've been on, the chats just explode with appreciation for how much value you bring. And also just the representation of a group of people that does not feel represented within our community. You not only shine here, but I think you have drawn so many people into seeing things in a new way. You're just so fantastic.
Thank you.